Hey Chewie, the Nava computer's been acting all weird. Just check to see that we have arrived at the right coordinates.
Well, welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great Christmas and a happy new year. It's been a busy one. It was difficult to compile these videos, but hey, here it is now, and let's get stuck in. And today we're going to talk about Sci-Fi, my top 20 black iconic influential characters and their relevance to Afrofuturism. So, without further delay, let's get to it. In at number 20. I, Robot, a sci-fi film on how robots turn on humans. It seems Will Smith lives in the sci-fi genre. Great to see another black hero archetype problem-solving singularity physically realized. At number 19.
Today there's not a man nor woman in here that shall stand
Idris
alone.
Elba in Pacific Rim, joining the ranks of many other black leaders in inspiring humanity against an unknown enemy. The styling is chromatic, very unique. Lots of futuristic elements and Transformers-style battles. At 18. Independence Day starring Will Smith was colossal when it first appeared. We had never seen anything like these intergalactic motherships. The fight was led by charismatic Fresh Will, redefining the term hero with comedy.
Welcome to Earth. That's what I call a close encounter.
At 17. Saw Gerrera from Rogue One, played by Forrest Whitaker, screams Afrofuturistic style and culture by design. The sci-fi iconism is mid-range, but the Afrofuturistic elements are prominent. At number 16. Tina Turner in Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome is awesome. If you haven't seen this film, made in 1985 starring Mel Gibson, Tina Turner brings her rock chick style to this film. Her presence, charisma, and leadership in this post-apocalyptic era where society redefines how humans govern themselves.
We had a deal, and the law says, bust the deal, face the
At
will.
15. Couldn't get enough of Willy Boy. The way he brought his swag in Independence Day brings it again in Men in Black, the most funkiest, stylish alien film to date.
You know, you're much too tense. You're a young man. You need to relax. Learn to take some joy in your work. Do you like music? That's better.
At number 14. We can't forget over 50 years of acting. It's Carl Weathers for his performance in Predator. He's an influential actor who portrays influential characters.
Thanks. Anytime.
At 13. John Boyega starring as Finn in The Force Awakens, fortunate enough to have more screen time as a black supporting lead than any character in the Star Wars universe. I mean, how fortunate is that? Unfortunately, his character isn't well defined, as he previously said they just didn't know what to do with him. Was he a Jedi? Is he a bounty hunter? His character needed more thought. However, deserves a spot on this list. 12. Benjamin Sisko starring Avery Brooks as one of the greatest Star Trek captains ever to appear in a Star Trek TV series, who displayed integrity and moral judgment. His virtues and ethics were more aligned to James T. Kirk than Jean-Luc Picard, regardless of what the protocol says.
Advocate. Isn't it possible?
Empire Strikes Back. Billy D. Williams playing Lando Calrissian, a handsome, smooth, charismatic leader, a womanizer and traitor. In the early 1980s, such a significant role would have been huge. Great to see the diversity in the role, a role model for future generations to come. Ashoka, played by Rosario Dawson, one of the first black female leads in the Star Wars cinematic universe. I mean, she has her own cult following, comics, magazine, you name it. The influence that this character has is phenomenal. At number 9, there comes a time in an actor's career that they will land a role that they will be remembered for, and for Halle Berry it's Storm. Other than Bond, it just goes to show, it's not how many roles you can play, it's the one that you will play well and leave a legacy. 8. If we're going to talk about Blade and Storm, we're going to talk about Luke Cage. Although these characters aren't directly related to sci-fi, they're more related to fantasy. And there's some sci-fi elements and more Afrofuturistic elements. When this first aired, the producers were afraid that it would cause a rebel-like following. My man Mike Colter, he was rocking the streets like he couldn't get enough juice. At number 7, anyone who embodies this character has huge shoes to fill. I mean, Wesley Snipes, he single-handedly carried the MCU in the early days. I don't think there's anyone that can play Blade better than Wesley Snipes. At number 6, what happens when cool meets cool? You get even cooler. This film screams artistic flair eclectically from beginning to end. Its seamless artistry of characters, animation, illustrations of the different renditions of Spider-Man has got to be one of the greatest Spider-Man films of all time. Forget Shameik Moore, who plays Miles Morales in Spider-Man. This rendition of Spider-Man made Spider-Man even greater by its diversity and inclusivity. At number 5, watch this brother bust a move. You think he's gonna drop one of the coolest tracks in the galaxy. It's Mace Windu, played by Samuel L. Jackson. The influence this character has in the Star Wars canon universe is huge, and the influence Samuel L. Jackson had on Star Wars is even bigger. He demanded his own colored lightsaber and changed the game for all lightsabers, period. At number 4, exuberated so much power and presence who literally carried the Matrix. The influence this character has just shows that a reboot without Lawrence Fishburne is not a reboot. Film ticks multiple boxes in terms of style, black lead, cultural elements, futuristic sci-fi elements. The Matrix franchise is perhaps one of the strongest Afrofuturistic films featuring multiple black characters, highlighting cultural style in terms of hair, dress, and coolness oozing from the seams. Originally written by Sophia Stewart, a black female sci-fi visionary, later realized by the Wachowski brothers. Now that's what I call style, baby. A huge influence in the 1960s due to the fact that it was a time of civil war, separation and segregation between blacks and whites, the time of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. This for a black female, yeah. Coming in hot at number 3, Uhura, played by Michelle Nichols in the 1960s. She also entered into the NASA space program as a mentor, leading and helping other aspiring professionals to enroll on the NASA space program. At number 2, Darth Vader. Yes, who's the daddy, baby? There wouldn't be a Darth Vader without the synonymous voice of James Earl Jones.
The Death Star will be completed on schedule.
You've done well, Lord Vader.
Darth Vader is one of the greatest iconic villains of all time and will forever be remembered by his rich tones and iconic lines.
We have only begun to discover your power. Join me, and I will complete your training. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
I'll never join you!
If you only knew the power of the...
Although we had David Prowse in the costume, or Hayden Christensen, it was the voice that made the character. When you watch the prequels, you're literally anticipating for the transformation to hear James Earl Jones' voice. The costume, in addition to its color and character, has made Darth Vader what it is today. The most influential, baddest, iconic sci-fi villain of all time. In at number 1. It's our beloved star Chadwick Boseman who embodied the ideals for humanity in his portrayal of Black Panther.
My name is King T'Challa, son of King T'Chaka. I am the sovereign ruler of the nation of Wakanda. And for the first time in our history, we will be sharing our knowledge and resources with the outside world. Wakanda will no longer watch from the shadows. We cannot. We must not. We will work to be an example of how we as brothers and sisters on this earth should treat each other. Now more than ever.
When Black Panther appeared, it was a monumental moment in cinematic history. A film that encompasses sci-fi, fantasy, with an all-black cast on a global scale. The film showcased vision of the future, highlighting the cultural style, technology featuring the African diaspora that has never been seen before, thanks to the writer Ryan Coogler. Although an MCU film, it was an opportunity to depict a vision of Africa in the future and its contribution to the world. What determines a sci-fi character's influence on Afrofuturism? It's about their cultural identity, style, futuristic elements, how that character sees the future, and created or written by a black director or writer, their perspective and vision of the future. Here we see the colors, themes, style, tribal marks of a vibrant community ahead of time, where resources, technology, spirituality reside in equilibrium with our environment and humanity. Problems of present day have become a distant memory. There have been numerous comics written on Shuri, in the transition of Black Panther and its legacy. We can't forget the other sci-fi contributors too, such as Yatasha El Womack, Nova Sparks, Charles E. Jones, Alex Zamelin, Kaylin Byron, and Yussi Shaw. Like Misty Knight, there are other characters in the MCU that would fall under this category by default, due to the nature of their cultural identity and style and futuristic elements that automatically renders that character under the influence of Afrofuturism. Now, why does all this matter? Afrofuturism ain't just about lasers and spaceships. It's a celebration of our past, present and future. It's reclaiming our narrative and saying, we are here and we're shaping the future on our terms. There you have it, people. Some of you may agree, you may disagree, of the top 20 black iconic influential characters in sci-fi. However, it was a tough one, even for me to decide. How we see the future and how we shape it determines how we will develop or ideas and ideals to be able to portray for the next generation. So, hope you like the video, people. Give it a thumbs up or like and subscribe, and stay tuned to my next video, animation. You know, it was tough. There were so many elements in terms of sci-fi, Afrofuturism. Did the time that person appeared, were they the first of their kind? Because if they were, that artist would have a lot of influence on the upcoming generation. Compared to today, you may have a black lead in a sci-fi, but it's not influential as the earlier days. The only difference is that actor the leading actor or supporting actor? Danny Glover, who was the first black lead to star in a sequel. In Predator 2, Sana Lathan in Alien vs Predator, the first black female to take on aliens. You could swing it either way. The question is, who has the biggest fan following? The biggest influence in their time? How do they aspire off screen? And these are the factors. Michelle Nichols could be number one. I mean, 40 plus years as the only black female on a Starship Enterprise. That's influential. Off screen as well. NASA. You told a retired stormtrooper that Darth Vader was black. How many times have I told you to keep my personal opinions to yourself? They ain't gonna let this go lightly. Set course for coordinates 419. Oh yes, Nigerians in space. Let's go and visit these brothers. 3, 2, 1.